Hey guys, this is Kayla, and this is my video for the mapping assignment. My mapping assignment that I did looking at the Social Responsibility and Sustainable Communities program, I focused on the course content and kind of the layout of that coursework. So I'm going to try and zoom in on things as I talk about them so it's a little easier to read. But here is the entire map, focusing in here on first looking at the required courses. I did kind of a breakdown of what we're required to take for the program. So we have got ICSR 510 and 520, which are offered in the fall semesters. ICSR 540, Econ 530, and ICSR 590 offered in the spring semester. And then we've got Leadership 500 offered in the summer semester. So kind of breaking that down, these are the things that all of the students are required to take. We all get this course content, but one of the things that drew me to this program was kind of our freedom of choice. It's kind of a broad program. So when we go over and look at the semesters that these are offered, we can kind of break them up the way that we want to. We have our freedom to take the coursework when we want, to kind of combine these. There's no set, you must take this with this. Although there are some prerequisites before we can take 540, for instance, we've got to take the 510 and 520. So there is a little bit of a layout as far as how we have to take them, but these are all the courses that all of the students have to take. And moving on to the other side of the mapping assignment here, we have got our elective courses. All of the students have to take 9 hours, but again, that's kind of the freedom. And if we go off to the side here, I demonstrated that we compare this with the certificate. We've got some choices for the certificate there. We have got the Gender Women Studies, Leadership, Aging, and the new one, the Nonprofit certificates. So the students can kind of take their freedom of choice here and apply that for not only the 9 hours, but if they choose to take one of these certificates along with the program, they can kind of focus these 9 hours for the certificate hours. And then with the additional electives that we have to take, the students then have the choice of the thesis or taking 6 additional hours of elective courses. So going back to the student's choice. These are the courses that the student can kind of focus on their interests. Going back to that certificate, if we have a particular interest, we can focus our electives on that interest. If we want the Gender Women Studies certificate, for instance, we can take our hours in Gender Women Studies courses. But this kind of gives us the freedom of choice there. Again, we see that these are offered in different terms. We can pair them up the way that we choose. We can choose to either do the thesis or the 6 hours. Again, the freedom of choice there, offered still in the different semesters. And then the outcome of all of this, going back out looking at the entire map there, everything leads to our outcome of our Masters of Arts in Social Responsibility and Sustainable Communities. So what I'm trying to demonstrate with this map here is that there is some structured format in terms of what we have to get out of this program, the courses that we have to take. There is the same basic knowledge for the required course. They want us to kind of all get that information, the information that they feel is pertinent to no matter what our interest is, with the sustainability of programs, social responsibility as well. That these courses, the core courses over here, are things that we're all going to have to take regardless of what our interests are. So they've kind of broken those down as these are important no matter what your focus. And then on the other side of it, you have a little bit more freedom. You can tailor it to your interests and have a little bit more freedom. So the map here, in my mind, demonstrates the program. Again, one of the things that drew me to it was the broad freedom that we have to apply our own interests. I think sorry about that, went out a little bit. We can, like I said, tailor it to our interests, but it helps us to get the outcome that we're looking for. I think that with a regular master's program, where it's a little bit more focused on one topic, that this program, it really lets us get out of it what we want to get out of it. So I really like the freedom of being able to choose those elective courses, the freedom of being able to choose, do we want to do the thesis, do we want to do the course hours, that freedom, it's really beneficial to us because we can do what we want with it. And that doesn't, I don't think that's a bad thing that it's so broad. I think it's beneficial because it allows us to utilize what we're learning in these courses in so many different fields. And I think that that's a really unique thing about this program, and I've really enjoyed it so far. So that is my mapping assignment, and I look forward to seeing your all's. And I'm going to try and post this as an image so you can see it better. But again, I hope that zooming in on some things broke it down a little better.